repent! Repent, for the Almighty has unleashed his fury upon us. Behold the devastation, a testament to our sin.
This is God's judgment upon the wicked papists among us.
Nay, it is our own decadence and depravity that has brought this calamity.
More than just a disaster, it was a divine reckoning to the people of the time. They had already been through the Great Fire of London and the plague, and God had spoken, and he was not pleased. The Church of England declared the storm to be his vengeance for the sins of the nation. A sentiment echoed by the renowned writer Daniel Defoe describes the tempest as a punishment for the nation's failings, a divine reminder of the consequences of moral decay. For even the Queen Anne, the supreme governor of the Church of England, had to be saved. As the winds howled and the chimney backs shattered under the unyielding force of God's hand, St. James's Palace became a perilous refuge. She and her household were forced to flee to the cellars, seeking safety from the collapsing roof and the chaos above. When the winds finally abated, the survivors were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. The great storm of 1703 would be remembered for generations. It was a night when the heavens wept and the earth trembled, forever etching in the memory of that fateful night into history. And what of the lighthouse? The great lighthouse. This was no shoddy structure. It was an impregnable fortress in the sea, a bastion of resilience against nature's fury. Henry's reinvigorated design was now so robust you would be forgiven for thinking that it could withstand cannon fire. So, a gale force and a few mountainous waves, things the designer had planned extremely well for, would make no difference. Surely this was the safest place of all, for this was indeed an extraordinarily over-engineered marvel of the age. Yet this was no ordinary storm. This was not even a once-in-a-century event. This was the storm of storms. This was the great storm. No trace, nothing of the lighthouse or the 5 men inside could be found. Only the rocks remained. It was like it was never there. When Stanley himself had paid a visit to put the finishing touches on his masterpiece, got to see his storm, for he was one of the 5 never to be seen again. The perfect lighthouse had met the perfect storm, the biggest storm in English history, and both it and its brilliant maker had been found wanting. An extremely cruel loss, when Stanley and his skilled crew had only come to save the helpless. That the sea should take their lives so swiftly was a painfully felt injustice. The only question remains: how did the greatest lighthouse give to the greatest storm? How did it hold in the insane tempest? What were the final moments like for those poor men inside? Did they cling to hope until the very end, believing in the strength of their fortress? Or did they realize in those last terrifying moments that even the mightiest of human creations would not withstand the full fury of nature? They faced the unimaginable. Their bravery and sacrifice should never be forgotten.